All right, and then one last thing I got is, instead of the standard extra time, MET, mandatory extra time, and incentivizing, your employees to, either work 60 hours, out of the week or go find a different job. For everybody who's not an Amazon employee, you get, about 8 days, if you have worked long enough and not had to, use any of your time off options, for like family stuff, going to get like a, medical appointment or, use any of your time off for whatever reason, you are able to accrue. I'm not in HR, I don't remember what the actual numbers are, but I'm sitting at about, 8 days worth of, being able to just not show up, and, maintain a normal 40-hour work week for 8 of those days. Bear in mind, we just got the word that we're going to be doing from November 2nd until December 20th was the last one that I heard. So, that's a little more than 8 days, worth of mandatory extra time, which I myself, I have a cat to take care of and, pretty much no other responsibilities outside of that, and I'm in a position where I can help out my team pretty well most of the time. I plan on working all of them, so that's just that. But that's not the average person. Most people have plenty of responsibilities that they've are perfectly fine to do on a 40-hour work week, which is essentially what we all have already signed up to. But to be dropping down the additional 60 hours or the additional 20 hours, making that a 60-hour work week, essentially giving you like, realistically speaking, 12 to 15 hours in a week to be able to do your grocery shopping, any of the stuff that you have to actually get taken care of. That's unreasonable. And then also unreasonable if you're only going to have like, the reality is people have already, through the course of all the other, Prime Day events and whatnot, had, dipped into their time off and whatnot. We do have other paid time off options available to us, but they've already fallen into that same category where people are using them just to, maintain a 40-hour work week on, I think we've, had, 3 other major events, running several weeks of extra time, where people have already, used that for various other reasons, not even talking about what it's actually supposed to be used for, like vacations, taking time to yourself, that sort of thing. So once you get to the bottom of your, and they've blacked out, being able to, request a day off. You're not allowed to do that for the full stretch of the holiday season, which isn't a new thing or anything along those lines. That's just standard procedure from, the 2 years that I've been there. But yeah, so once you get to the bottom of all of your time off options, then you are 100% eligible to just be, shown the door and let go. So, on the surface, it sounds, decently, well, let's just say it sounds restrictive, but, not totally unfair. But the reality of the situation is, it's a fairly slow accrual rate for 2 of the 3, and then for that one, it's still, I'll get like, 50 minutes, per day for 10 hours worked or something like that. And, a lot of people use that to just maintain their normal 40-hour-a-week schedule to be able to take care of their family and their other obligations outside of work. So, we've already had, several events that have caused, mandatory overtime and whatnot. So reality of the situation is, people are going to be low on their time off options coming into, the 50 to 60 hour work weeks for about 2 months, and everybody has responsibilities outside of it, but yeah, one thing that, I would be interested in seeing come up, instead of being like a problem in a community where, you're hiring people on and firing them and, working them, pretty darn hard. Amazon could just as easily be a positive effect in the community by, like, let's say that, we want to, continue, with having extra people on. Essentially gig that out. We know what the Prime days are going to be. We know what the holiday season is. It's not unreasonable to expect that there would be a handful of people who aren't looking for a full-time job, who wouldn't mind making a couple hundred extra bucks during the holiday season or any of these Prime events, that would just show up. Be able to get, up to speed relatively quickly on, some of the more basic tasks. And, that could be a huge benefit to the local communities, by offering, extra, employment. And then you don't have to, be rough on your, regular employees. It could be the best of both worlds, but yet again, I have to imagine that's, not a negative from the people making these decisions, to make it a lot harder for people to be able to, stick around when you have any sort of outside responsibility. And actually, excuse me, do the work of forming the Amazon labor union. If this is the reality of that situation. So, while I got the camera set up and before I, head back to work tomorrow, I just, figured I'd get that one off, my noodle. So, yeah.